Well, hello, and welcome to Our Ventura. My name is MB Hanrahan, and this is my guest today, Phil Taggart, who, among other things, is one of our Cultural Affairs Commissioners, which maybe you didn't even know that we had such a thing. Phil, enlighten us, the Cultural Affairs Commission.
Well, the Cultural Affairs Commission is part of implementation of the Cultural Plan that is part of the city's.
Like the big picture.
The big picture, yeah. It's like what we want to be, where we want to go. It's we're trying to figure out ways to build the arts, many aspects of the arts, into the cultural fabric of what Ventura is. And I think the Cultural Affairs Commission and the Cultural Plan came into being as, especially as downtown became more gentrified, and they did it because of the they did that because the artists were making it a desirable place to live.
That's right.
And then the artists, as it becomes a more desirable place to live, the artists can no longer afford to live there, which is kind of a gentrification problem that happens everywhere. City of Ventura realized, hey, you know, this is a good idea. Let's figure out a way to keep the artists here. Let's keep the arts part of our culture. And I think that, you know, and we have a history of that with, you know, like say Avenue Days back in the 70s. So it's been going on, and Ventura has always been very interested in having the arts being a part of their culture.
So I know you have a poetry background, and you have video in your background, and you have a love of the arts in your background, and that's what you bring. What are some of the programs and ideas that you personally are pushing, or that you know, like currently right now, that where people are going to see it either, or they're seeing it, or they're going to see it unfold?
Well, one of the things that the commissions, which is the challenges of the commission right now, is that we had the 90s where there was money.
Woohoo!
And there was money, and we were able to do things with the arts. Now there's no money. And so what we are charged with is figuring out a way to keep these things, but not spend money, which of course is magic. You know, it's like magic. How are you going to do this? And so, for example, I'll use the Art Walk, which was an incredible piece that everyone in Ventura County is doing now. You know, they're doing it everywhere. I mean, not that we were the first, but we made it very, very, very successful and a place to go to.
Art walks, when the studios open their doors and some merchants participate by, you know, hanging certain artists and such like that, just in case there's someone who doesn't know.
And there might, you know, and that's why I'm here.
Right.
But I think that one of the things is that how do you take that? How the city can no longer afford to do an art walk.
Right, to promote it and print all the posters and all the infrastructure that kind of went along with organizing it.
And so what the commission has done, and people on the commission have done, is worked with the artists and changed it so it's artist run entirely, and the monies are generated in a 501c, which in this case is mostly Bell Arts, and how they tie everything else in with the rest of, say, the Waves, say, the BAA, the Buenaventura Arts Association, the Working Artists of Ventura, the Artists Union Gallery, and these other galleries. It supports it, but not monetarily, gives them infrastructure, and has made it, and it's been a very successful changeover.
So it sounds like that the commission functions in a liaison kind of a way,
Yeah.
and like, okay, these things existed, now how do we make them keep on happening? And the city then, what does the city bring to the table?
Well, I think they still give a lot of support.
Okay.
You know, and I don't know specifically how it's being supported, but I know it's not being supported directly by money anymore. I know that they have been able to make it. They've been able to transfer it into the artists. They did that also with the First Friday, where the artists, where all the galleries open First Friday in Ventura, and you can go that, and they've managed to move that into it.
First Friday of every month.
Yeah, first Friday of every month. So you can go to an art gallery and see something going on. And what they were able to do is take that away from the city, and not take it away, but have it supported by the community of artists and the community in general. And they also support things that are starting up. I think one of the things that I think is they're giving support to, but not money support,
Right.
is the Paint Ventura, which is done by the Red Brick Gallery, where a bunch of people do plein air painting, which is painting things that are there,
Right.
and
In the air,
in the air,
as such.
outside, and then all of a sudden you'll see 2 days where people are painting all over Ventura, and
Right.
this is, it brings people to our town.
Yes.
And when they do come to our town, they're going to see something like, oh my God, look at this. These guys are sitting around painting. Well, an example of that would be Laguna and their masters painting thing, where and it's making our arts a tourist destination where those people bring money to our town.
So the town looks artsy, and the artists want to stay because they feel like they're in a favorable, supportive milieu, so to speak.
And it's not just it's not just that. It's a cultural fabric of the people that live here. For example, we work a lot with the schools. We do a lot of stuff and try to support, because as you know, the schools have been gutted. The
Right.
and so we actually do things where we try to connect the artists, the schools, and the artists, and then bring the artists in the schools out and try to make them also part of the cultural fabric. And this is something that the commission does without spending money.
It seems like it's probably more about making connections, maybe, like here's a need, here's someone who might support it, and then putting that together, as opposed to here it is on a plate, here we go, we've already figured out for you, here are your artists, here's the
That's
money,
right.
and such like that, making everybody work a little harder for it, but not just giving up, of us being more of a high-profile, artsy kind of a city.
And I think that's it. We're still trying to do the commit. We're still trying to make the connections. And I think another thing is that, and what I bring to it, is that I am a person who does a lot of very, very basic groundwork, and have worked without money in the arts since I've been
Helping
here.
start the Artists Union Gallery, for instance.
The Insomniac, Cafe Voltaire, the Arts Gulag.
Documenting the local artists,
Documenting
whether
the
you're being paid for it or not.
I don't get paid for that. Bell Arts,
Yes.
I help putting these things on, get these things going,
Right.
try to help, and do it without a budget for the most part.
And being a local for a long time.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah,
you
I
have some sort of perspective.
raised 2 kids here.
There you go. So you were saying that you told me before the show that a web page is being developed. That sounds like a pretty powerful instrument.
Well, one thing we're in process of right now with the Ventura Visitors Bureau is, and the foundation, Buenaventura Arts Foundation, is that what they're called? Foundation, well, I call them
The foundation.
Okay, the foundation. And what we're trying to do is set up a web page and work it with the Ventura Visitors Bureau, so that we have a central place where all the arts are, and then so people here can find it that live in Ventura. But let's say you're coming in, let's say there's a bus load of people coming in from China, and they want to go to find out what's going on in Ventura. They go to the Ventura Visitors Bureau, and all the interesting stuff about the artists is in one place for them to see.
Wow.
And so then you can say, besides, okay, hey, I want to go get a steak at the Sportsman, because they have really good steak. And then I'd like to get some wine at some wine place, and I'd like to see what's going on at NB
Walk
Universe.
around, see some
Yeah.
murals or something like that in town.
Yeah, see the murals.
Where are they?
Yeah, stuff like that. We're trying to figure out a way to, and so we're working, instead of just saying it's this little box where the artists are, well, no, we're working with the business community and the tourism community to make sure that we all can work together and make it a great place to live, and hopefully someone will make some money.
Well, so that would be like probably how the city would help then, is that maybe that they would assist in putting the word out to all the artists, because if they're pretty phenomenal informational banks, like, hey, artists, give us this information so it can be input into this website, blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Well, we really aren't sure yet, but it will be. Yeah, they'll be part of that.
Is this something we're going to see like within a year?
Oh yeah,
or by the end
there
of the
will
year?
there will be one. You'll see this by the end of the year.
So what's going on with the poetry scene in Ventura?
Well, we are we're so,
I'm sorry.
we're still around. There's still readings going on. We're working on our regular Tuesday readings. We're kind of expanding some readings at Art City.
Okay.
Because it's such a great venue. You've got this beautiful outside venue, and we're still doing readings. We've got we're going to do a special book reading, and I know this is timely, so I'm not going to mention certain times.
Right.
But yeah, we're still working on regular reads. We're thinking of expanding to, besides the regular Tuesday reading, we want to expand to a few more special outside readings.
That'd be fantastic. So, what's your pitch? Like, come visit Ventura, this, that, and the other thing. What's your pitch as a commissioner to talk to someone and talk them into, or even if just say someone was unwilling to cut loose with a location or some funding or such like that, to really convince them that the arts are important and having a high profile as an artsy town is important?
Well, I think when the arts are a significant and important part of the cultural fabric, no matter what those arts are, music, poetry, visual arts, sculpture, when that is an important part of the cultural fabric of any city, and it is in Ventura, it becomes a desirable place to live, and it's a desirable place to come to. I mean, not for everybody. I mean, for me, when I go to town, I look for the galleries, and what I like is arts and literary and theater and music, and I'm very interested in that. And so, if you want to really go, as part of the cultural, if art is part of the cultural fabric, then it becomes desirable for a very desirable group of people that we want to have come here.
Okay.
We want people to come here that that are going to spend money, that are hopefully educated, and those people usually have money, and hopefully, and we would like them to come here and make it a desirable place. We don't necessarily want to have we don't necessarily want to be a bar town where you're just coming out and going downtown. You want to get drunk and maybe get into a fight. I would like to go downtown, have a glass of wine, and go visit a gallery. I think, who do we want to have come? Who do we want to have be in walking down our main street on a Friday and Saturday night?
Kind of like what's promoted tends to attract what you promote.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen many towns that are very similar downtowns that Ventura has. Very beautiful, very redone, and I see stuff in their paper all the time about the bar fights that they have downtown. And I think, why is that? And then I think, what's the difference between us and Ventura? I mean, we have bars downtown, it's the same as it has been, but we don't have that because our focus is so much about the arts and culture.
Okay, so then in less than a minute, what would be your dream project?
Oh my God, I
know.
don't have a dream
It's
project.
Okay. You can be pro whatever you're into.
Well, God, what am I going to say for the last minute?
I know.
I don't know if I have a dream project other than I really want to see Ventura continue in a way that makes it desirable for me to live in.
Okay.
And that may be my project, and I want it to be desirable for my kids to live in. I've got one kid living here, I got one kid that doesn't live here. And I would like to see this be a place where they could both financially live here and want to raise their children here.
Perfect. And that is all we have time for today. Phil, thank you so much. Putting you on the spot about the arts. Hey, you've been watching Our Ventura. I'm MB Hanrahan, and thank you very much. We'll see you soon.